Sinners is a 2025 American horror film written, co-produced, and directed by Ryan Coogler, literally one of the best directors in the black cinemascape today, and honestly one of my favorites, at least top 3. It's set in 1932 in Mississippi Delta, and the film stars Michael B. Jordan in dual roles as twin brothers who return to their hometown to start again, only to be confronted by a supernatural evil. The film also features Haley Steinfeld, Miles Catton, Jack O'Connell, Omar Miller, Delroy Lindo, and many others. Just wanted to give a brief review after I got out of the theaters and enjoyed that great film. So here is my review of the movie Sinners. In 1932, identical twins and World War I veterans Smoke and Stack returned to Clarksdale, Mississippi, after years spent working for the Chicago outfit. Using money stolen from gangsters, they purchased a sawmill from a racist landowner, Hogwood, to start a juke joint for the local black community. And let me say, Hogwood, man, his character came back around in the end. Not going to spoil in this video, but I really liked how the twist with his character came. Their cousin Sammy, an aspiring guitarist, joins them despite opposition from his pastor father, Jediah, who warns them that blues music is supernatural. And it was a really cool montage at the beginning that showed the essential history of blues music and how it has supernatural properties and it can influence things. So it was really good on that front too. The twins recruit other staff, pianist Delta Slim and singer Pearline, with whom Sammy becomes enamored, as performers. Smoke estranged wife Anne as a cook, and a local Chinese shopkeepers, Grace and Bo, as suppliers, and field worker Cornbread as a bouncer. Meanwhile, Snack reconnects with his ex-girlfriend Mary, who passes for white. Mary resents Stack for abandoning her when he left for Chicago, and Smoke and Annie argue over their belief in the supernatural, as Annie insists that her practices keep the twins safe. But Smoke bitterly reminds her that their infant daughters still died. Elsewhere, Irish immigrant vampires, Remnick flees from Choctaw vampire hunters and violently turns a married Klansman into a couple of vampires. And that scene, let me tell you, the way Ryan Coogler shoots cinema is very beautiful and serene, and I just love the way he frames each shot, and also just his eye for capturing, cinematic great moments. At the juke joint's opening night, Sammy's music is transcendent, unknowingly summoning spirits of both past and future to join the entranced crowd. And that was probably one of my favorite scenes of the movie, when they showed all the different cultural musics coming together and people dancing. You saw ancient, African drummers, and you saw Chinese dancers, geisha dancers, would you call them? Something like that, geisha dancers, and there was other people and other things in the crowd that made that scene really stand out for me. It was honestly one of my favorites. The crowd performance draws Remnick's attention, and he arrives with his minions, offering money and music for intrigue. Suspicious, the twins hesitate and the vampires retreat. Reminding the twins that the bar needs the income, Mary meets Rumnik outside, but is turned into a vampire. And her, Haley Steinfeld, man, she's a great actress, really good, and beautiful as all hell. But I knew she was going to be the one that starts the danger, essentially. I kind of figured she was going to do that. She returns inside, where she seduces Stack and bites him. Smoke shoots her, but she is unharmed by regular bullets and escapes. Cornbread is attacked by Remnick and turned into a vampire as well when he went out to go use the bathroom. And that scene, I was like, dude, you gotta be smarter, man. You're a black man in a horror movie. Come on, man. Cornbread, gotta be smarter. I'm not gonna spoil what happens after a certain point, but his character, he was decent. And I like this confrontation with the other people inside of the club when things started to go crazy. Really funny. As the joint empties, the vampires attack and turn the departed patrons, including Bo, into vampires. Stack revives, but Annie repels him with pickled garlic juice. She educates the survivors. Only sunlight, silver, or wooden stakes can kill the vampires, and they cannot enter the building unless invited. Remnick, now leading a horde of vampires but still unable to enter the bar, negotiates. He praises Sammy's supernatural talents and claims that vampirism offers immortality, freedom, and an escape from racism. He wants to use Sammy's skills to summon the spirits of his lost community. And the scene where they were negotiating that, really well done. Like, that was essentially the height of the movie in a way. It just, I was on knife edge. I was on the edge of my seat, trying to anticipate what would happen, and I couldn't. It was really well done. Remnick also warns that Hogwood, who secretly heads the local clan, and again, Hogwood character came back around. I'm not going to spoil what happens, but it was pretty good ending. I'm not gonna lie. When the survivors refuse his offer, Remnick and Bo confront Grace, threatening to attack her daughter. Desperate, Grace dares the vampires to attack the joint, inviting them in. That was so stupid. I was like, the Chinese woman, I love her. She was a great character up until that point. I was like, tie her up, gag her, put her in the corner, something. Don't let those vampires in. She let them in. It was really, really goofy. But, you know, she was trying to do it for her daughter, and I understood that, but really funny nonetheless. Grace, Delta, Slim, and Annie are in trouble, I'll say. And from this point on, I won't spoil what happens in the end. But up until this point, I literally couldn't figure out the plot. And that's one of the greater things I love about movies, is its unpredictability. I thought I knew what essentially might happen when I was going in, but I had no idea, especially when it came to the ending. So, yeah, with all that said, I'll go to giving it a score. For the cinematography, it was brilliant. Ryan Coogler, again, has a great eye and a great knack for shooting scenes, and the movie was just framed so beautifully. So I'll give that a full point. Pacing, how the action moved and how the story came together, and it never felt slow. Coming in at 2 hours and 13 minutes, it was a brisk time, so the pacing gets a full point. The plot, the way the plot brought all the characters together brilliantly and took its time in doing so, but at the same time giving strong characterization, you know, building a character without lingering on them for too long. And that goes into the pacing as well. Ryan Coogler was really good at doing that. He did an excellent job in Black Panther and Creed of doing both of those things, so that's a full point also. Now the score, soundtrack, it had me moving in my seat. The down south rural sound of country and that jazz feel with a little bit of blues, well, a lot of bit of blues thrown in there. It was really good. So yeah, I'll definitely get that soundtrack and listen to it while working out. The themes, protect your friends, fight in the face of adversity. It's just it exuded themes perfectly well. And my final thoughts, it was a solid film, really solid. One of my favorite Ryan Coogler films now, at least top 3, and it's one of my just favorite black cinema films, just consisting of black cinema. Michael B. Jordan, man, I can't talk enough about his acting ability and the few scenes he had with Haley Steinfeld. And so, all in all, with all that said, it was damn near a flawless movie. Yeah, I have to give it a strong 8.5 out of 10 for Sinners 2025. That was really good. I enjoyed it. So if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend. So yeah, that's it. If you guys could like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do all that good stuff, follow the socials, and until next time, peace.